He is a pixel artist who's worked on many different games. And you can see that he's able to create some fantastic animations. You see that? And he's also made a game. Here, look, he worked for this game here as well. And we saw that, you know, the showdown thing, right? He makes some really good art. But he also made a game. How much my Steam game made in 1 month? It underperformed. I think this is really important to learn from, because this guy, at least art-wise, has everything he needs to make a good looking game. Bullet Bunny. It is a survivor's game, it looks like. I think it's a bit too dark, in my opinion. There's not much contrast going on. So what I see here is a bunch of red blobs already. I like the dark ones. I don't think it's too dark. I'm not saying it's too dark. Well, I said it, but I don't mean it's too dark. I think it doesn't create enough contrast between the enemies, the background, and your character. It's a little bit difficult to see. Are those supposed to be trees here? What is this supposed to be? It's really difficult to tell what's going on, man. Let's contrast this. If this is a survivor's pixel art game, we take this. You can clearly see what's going on here. You can clearly tell the background, the character, and the enemies apart. And here, this is an enemy. These are enemies. The character, I can not even see what's going on the character here. It's just a bunch of white pixels and then a green line. Better shadowing, Death Must Die is much cleaner. Yeah, right? You see what I mean? I wonder what he goes into. But that is like, from a first perspective or first look, that's what I would say.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Pen, I usually do tutorials, but today we're going to dive into some interesting facts about releasing my first game on Steam called Bullet Bunny. A little bit of a roller coaster, and I have some plan, but I'm kind of just going to go with the flow and break it down and let you guys know the juicy details, like how much I made, how many wish lists I went in with, you know, and so
on. I think his pixel art effects are really cool. Look at this.
So first we'll cover the wish list, how many I launched, how many I got post-launch, etc.
Wait, that's supposed to be a shadow? Oh, I think this doesn't work out at all, man. I think this doesn't work at all.
And then
it's like covering the entire map. It's basically darkening the entire screen for no reason. Just to have like a, I don't know, what is this? Guys, what do you call these things? Aussichtsturm in English.
Dive a bit more into the launch, because it was quite interesting how it laid out. Ultimately, how it unfolded wasn't that great, but I'll explain that more in detail soon.
Here again, like for some reason he darkens the entire middle part of the screen. And yeah, there's no aesthetic. And also this text at the top looks really bad. I'm pretty sure he used an engine, but okay, fine.
And then we'll go into the first week sales, which are okay. And then the first month sales. Okay. And we'll kind of break that all down. And then the conclusion on how I felt and how I'm going to proceed. So let's get straight into it. Going into the launch, I had just over 8,000 wish lists.
Wow, that's a lot. I have 400.
And that's quite a bit. It's decent for an indie game, my first game. I was pretty proud of it, and how I got that was basically through my social media, you know, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, just constantly posting.
Okay, yeah, he has a lot of subscribers on YouTube. His videos had like 500,000 views, some of them. Twitter, 26,000 followers. That's a lot. He can make really cool pixel art effects, post them there. People love that shit.
Reddit and TikTok and so on. So I had that going into launch.
Crazy.
And I was hoping I'd get onto popular.
Week wish lists. You mean this? This is wish lists. Yeah. Wish list.
Upcoming, and
Watchtower. Oh yeah, Watchtower.
And that gained me another 3,000, just over. I was lucky and got on there for 4 days, and then I launched with 11,380.
That's
and
fine,
I gained another
2.5
post-launch. And I'll go into this a bit more, but this is just the stats for the initial like wish list. And here's the Steam
wish list editions.
15,314 edition.
Lifetime conversion rate.
This is currently right now. I just did this, and you can see the conversion rate is pretty low. I think it was lower.
5.9%. What is a normal wishlist conversion rate, guys? 1 week conversions are 20% and 1 year conversions are 60%. For example, with 10,000, you can expect around 2,000 sales. Oh, I see. That's a really good example. I wonder if this is right or wrong. 10% on average is great.
These stats, I think it was lower. It was 3. It was pushing. It was 2 or 3, which is 5.9 is 889.
Wishlist purchases and activations 800. You see here. Is he able to tell how much he earned?
Fingers crossed, because ultimately that's a pretty low conversion rate, especially on launch day when it was 2 or 3%. That wasn't too good. So that's my wish list now and how much I had and everything. So let's go into launch day. Oh, here's a little chart of I released I think it was April, makes sense, March. April I made the Steam page last year, so it's been a year now. And I wasn't advertising or posting too much about it.
Just like me.
And this was Steam Next Fest, which ultimately I did completely wrong because I didn't know what I was doing. I entered it.
This is probably the next fest, right?
But I was like, whatever, I'll enter it, and it did okay. But I think if I did a Steam Next Fest somewhere around here, it would have done way better, way better. And
yeah, see, this is what I'm waiting for too. I'm waiting for my game. Danke. Real super cool. My conversion rate is 37%. Steam says 60% is the average lifetime wishlist conversion rate. In case he didn't say it. Oh, I see. It looks like it goes up after launch. You have to at least finish it. Yeah, just wait, guys. Just wait. I'm working.
Wasn't doing a lot for the game, just slowly working on it. And here is when I started to post about it, and this was a viral post. I posted
YouTube
of the samurai dude. There's a tutorial on him on this YouTube.
This is the tutorial I watched. Crazy. Look at the impact of YouTube. This tutorial here gained 500,000 views. This is the impact it had. If we go back to the very beginning, that is 400 wish lists almost. In like 1 or 2 days. 400 wish lists, then another 350 or something. That's almost 1,000 wish lists in like a couple of days, bro.
When I started to post about it, and this was a viral post. I posted of the samurai dude. There's a tutorial on him on this YouTube page. But he's an enemy in the game. And I posted on Instagram, and I think it got 10 million views, 600,000 likes, and you can see here the first day it got almost 400, and then that kind of, which isn't that, it didn't get 600,000 likes in the first day. It kind of built up. I think it had like 20,000 first day, and then it kind of just went and went and went, kept going. And for the amount of likes and views it got, it didn't do like that, doesn't convert into a lot of wish lists. That's kind of just Instagram. It's probably lower quality wish lists and views, but that kind of motivated me to post about Bullet Bunny frequently. So this is kind of from here, October to release. I kind of consistently posted about it, and you can see like this is probably the 100 mark. I was consistently getting 50. It was pretty consistent until release at this point, which kind of gave me confidence going into the release. And then this here is the release,
but you only showed art, did you?
Around 1,000 a day.
You only showed small pieces of the game.
The release itself was over 1,200, and we'll go more into that right now, because this was
upcoming, popular,
getting onto popular upcoming, which is what you want to do when releasing a game. And I had 8,000, so I was like, I think I'm gonna get on it, because I was tracking games before constantly, and I was pretty confident I'd get on it. And how it laid out, I was on there for 4 days, which is extremely lucky, and I was getting close to 1,000 wish lists a day being on here, which was really cool. And I think it was better than most of the games on popular upcoming with me, because if you went to Steam DB, I was rising in the ranks a lot more than the other games. So that kind of was getting me real amped. I'm more and more confident at this point, which was exciting.
His dreams are about to get crushed.
Way too excited. And eventually, I was up here. This goes by release date.
We gotta not look at any numbers, I guess.
So I think I was 2 or 1 for 3 or 4 days. It was pretty crazy, and that leads me to the launch. And to get on this new and trending tab, you need 10 reviews or something fairly quickly. You need decent sales, and I did that, and you can see I was number 1, and this lasted for 4 or 5 hours or something before it just stopped, which I was a tad confused. You can see competing with Sex Campus, but yes.
I mean, you can't compete with that, bro. Absolutely not. Okay, you have a nice face here, you know, and glasses, you know, nice lipstick. You can't compete with that. But what is ultimately weird is, okay, so he got dropped out of here, which probably means not enough sales and playtime. I think that's what happened. They gave him a chance. He was on there. Then they evaluated the data, or the program, whatever, evaluated the data. Not enough sales, not enough playtime. Bye. I think that's just what happens, because they want to keep players engaged. And if they advertise a game that doesn't do very well, then, you know, players are leaving much faster, right?
I made it on New and Trending. Like I was sending this to my friends, to my family and everyone, and I was like, this is nuts. I'm doing it. Like, this is nuts. Cool. Sales were going crazy at this point. You know?
Of course. The traction.
This was bulk of this 4 or 5 hours was the bulk of my sales. And then out of nowhere, it just stopped. I was off the list.
I wouldn't say out of nowhere. Take a look at the reviews. I want to see the reviews.
I thought I did something wrong or something like I shouldn't have done. And I was removed.
And reviews.
And that stopped. And with it, sales kind of stopped.
Of course. Yeah.
So that was super depressing. And I still don't really know why. I guess the reviews are okay. I don't know. So I don't really have...
This is where we go into... Does he go into reviews himself?
That brings us to the next part where I'll break down the revenue, which...
Okay, he's going to talk about the revenue. I'm really interested in the reviews. Let's see. Bullet Bunny, very positive. 1.8 hours, okay. TLDR, a decent twin-stick shooter roguelike that needs a bit more polish. For context, I'm a designer. I've been in the industry for 15 years. I'll be reviewing some of the gameplay and mostly focus on the interface and experience. That seems to be a big point for a lot of other reviewers. I'm not here to shit on someone's artwork, just give honest feedback. Honestly, a great start for their first game. I think it nails I think it nails most of the fundamentals of twin-stick shooter roguelikes. The good things. Guns are varied, feel different basic stats, equipment mixes the game up a bit, single buffs give reason to spend your credits, hub is a practice area, the arena is a set amount of space, meaning it will get claustrophobic. The odd choices, there are different fonts used, okay? 2 are pixel and in-game, the third is the main and pause menu. Can work, Celeste is doing that too. Right? General rule is to use a unique font for the headers and a readable font for general text. Cool. I wonder if that's... I'm gonna write that down here. That's something... I'm always looking for improvements on my game. I'm collecting stuff that we learn. Maybe we can do something with this information. So, the scoreboard uses, pressing escape in a screen submenu closes it, but also opens the pause... Oh, okay. That's some UI issues. Flashlight seems a little underbaked. The mechanic isn't strong enough, this light here. That's what it's talking about. Visually, I could see the enemies outside the radius. I understand it's tied to having passives and skills that affect enemies inside the light. I suggest looking at this figure for 20 minutes till dawn's light radius mechanic. They're aiming to hide the enemies for fear of effect to obscure vision. Oh, I see. I get it. Okay. You can clearly make out the background, the enemies, and the character, and the damaging abilities. It's gotta be inspired by this, right? The placement of the stats during a level up, skills on the left, text stats on the right. Generally, Western audience read from left to right. Having the text on the right makes more difficult. Okay, I say Western audience, there's no option to choose a language when starting the game. So assumption is that English will be read from left to right. Enemy design is there, but sort of melts into another of their colors are usually red, green, and dark gray. They look different, but they also just melt into one another after a while. Yeah. See, guys, I'm right. He's saying the same thing I said. It's difficult to tell them apart. Having a look at Pen's portfolio, they do amazing pixel art. The game's art is still great, but it seems to miss the extra flair that makes things stand out more. Oh, the bad things. When purchasing new character guns, the price obscures the text and opacity decreases readability. People just want to know what they're purchasing first before making the jump. Yes, you can read it if you generally skinned your eyes. Oh god. So UI issues. UI for the boss health takes a chunk of the bottom. To alleviate it, the opacity of the bar fades as your character moves down. That works, but not all the information is present. Okay, at first glance, top left UI, XP bar is noticeable. Starts red, ammo UI, the icons. What is this? Looks great, controls great, performance excellent from what I've seen. Fun, okayish, UI confusing, sometimes hard to read. Affordability fantastic, replayability very low. The progression system needs a rework. After a few games I got bored, already having unlocked quite a few things left with no goals to achieve. Okay, not really that bad. Half the time something stabs me when I just can't see it until it's right next to me. I barely beat normal. Like, this guy is a bad gamer. You walk around, hope not to be surrounded, and you get to complete... If you don't complete a run, you barely get any resources to get more unlocks. Okay, so this guy is just a bad gamer. This is collector of stuff, by the way. Alright. The UI UX is incredibly clunky and cluttered. The hub zone feels like a terrible mess. Instead of a proper menu, you have to manually go to each hub station to change game settings like equipment, characters, difficulty, and even start the game itself. It's a neat idea, but each of the submenus can only browse a single item at a time. And the worst part is that the text overlaps on top of the other options. So basically, this guy needs to work on his UI. I just not finished right now. Progression is slow. Half the damage types seem wholly unusable if you want to actually do well, meaning it gets incredibly repetitive. Okay.
We'll start off with the first week revenue. And this was, I did a Reddit post. So the first week.
4,000.
The rest of the month isn't this nicely
before
laid
refunds.
Out, but there's not much to look at. So the first week total, I sold 1,098 copies.
That's
and again,
good.
That first day when I was on popular or new and trending, it sold 660.
Down dramatically. It's
and
crazy.
That was, as you can see, bulk of my sales to this point. And 1,098 is 4,930 USD before refunds, cuts, you know, the 30% and everything. And then you can see 600, 500, or 155. This was like, it kind of stopped after I dropped off new and trending. It dropped real hard. And then the second day I kind of pushed social media a bit, and then which did okay. And then it kind of just trickled down to 40, which 40 is still cool. And overall, if this week laid out like this, but not the way it happened, I would have been pretty amped and happy with it. But kind of the way it happened kind of felt lackluster. It was kind of a crappy feeling to say, to just be thrown off new and trending when other games I released with were on there for 3 or 4 days. I know there's tons of variables with that, but it kind of felt like I failed, even though these numbers are okay. If it happened,
I don't think they're okay. Otherwise, they would keep you there, man. It's not like they have a grudge against you.
I would probably be much more happier with it. And you can see day 8 was 34, and then day 9 was 2. I forget what it ended with day 9. I had 134 refunds, which is 11.8%. I think right now it's at 12.2. I thought this was high, but the average is 10 to 12, so that's pretty good. The median playtime is 50 minutes, or was this first week. It's at 54 now, which is average. The wishlist conversion rate is 4.9 at the end of the week 1, but the first few days was 3%, which is really low. Typically, you could see 15, 20% even, 10%, 10 to 15 is probably more normal. So that would have been a lot more sales. And I mentioned in this Reddit post, this may be from poor quality wish lists from my followings, 153 on Instagram, 26 on Twitter, 18 on YouTube, that love to support me by wish listing, but had no intent to actually buy the game.
To buy, yeah.
It helped.
That's you guys. When I launched my game, I get like 100 wish lists. That was all you guys.
But that's kind of the nature.
You don't have intent to buy the game.
And I had 55 reviews, 92% positive. And
don't awkward
the negative
monkey
ones were basically funky UI in the hub. Progression was kind of lackluster, and those are two things I've revamped for this coming update. So I'm excited to release that. And this is, so that was week 1, 1098, and then this is this date. This is April 3rd.
Lifetime is refunded.
I released March
Current
4th,
players.
so almost a month.
Ooh, 2 players. Oof.
Revenue 63, gross 5,000, less returns, chargebacks, taxes. Lifetime units 1,400.
Hey, Mr. Real Super Cool. Can you give us your medium time play? Because Real Super Cool has a game on Steam called Pogo Stock, and it is quite successful. He's made quite a lot of money with it. You know, for over 4,000 reviews. Making schnitzels, tablets, sorry. Okay, so he can't right now, but I'm gonna tell you later how much that is. So we can compare that to the one game we have in reference right here. Oh wait, Rames, are you still here? How much is your medium time played? That is this game right here. Wait, for you it is 11 hours? Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Yes. Oh, now you just said it, I guess. It was 17 hours for Vampire Survivors, dude. Why are you surprised? Oh, God. 26. I mean, 20, shit. 0.3. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, oh wow. I think maybe 17 hours on average is actually right. Oh wow. Holy shit, look at those numbers, man. So 50 minutes is not good. I know a few people who are addicted to that game. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get addicted to that game for sure, bro. Median is 2 hours. Average is 10 hours. Okay, so for real super cool, this value right here is 2 hours. Which is twice as much as he has. But Real Superku has a game that is rage-inducing. You either play the game for a long time, or you just hate it to death and quit immediately. So it's difficult to say with that game. His game is meant to be like a Vampire Survivors thing. But still, I think this is low.
113, so basically 300 the rest of the month. So that first week was 1100 almost, and then 300. Returns 12.2%, which I mentioned up there, which is pretty average once
below the refund time.
2 players currently playing. Shout out to them. Daily active users 25, which is cool to think 25 people are playing my game. And medium playtime 54. Wishlist right now are 12,000, so almost 13,000. So if I can convert on some of those in becoming sales and whatnot, hopefully I can bump these numbers. This is quick on sales by
United
region,
States, United Kingdom,
UK, Canada, Germany, and then some lower ones down here. Pretty cool. And this is a quick graph of the average peak users and everything that was released. I had 350-ish people and playing daily, and now it's like I said, down to 25-ish.
God damn it.
Which is still cool. Really cool. So my
I don't know, man. 2 players a day.
This is what I wrote in the Reddit post. Kind of just breaks down that, like I mentioned, the way it happened was kind of not too exciting, or was exciting, I guess. A lot of excitement, but not too happy with how it unfolded. Overall, underperformed based on wish list going into launch day. I think all those sites that predicts how many copies you would sell. I think sites had me in the first month from 3,000 to 7,000, and I was sitting there lowballing, being like, okay, I'm expecting 3,000 first month. I didn't even get half of that, and every site was kind of.
Why would you spend time on these sites? Like, I don't understand. I think he spent so much time on these stats instead of actually looking at the game.
Same.
Yeah, the content in general. Like, he's not talking about that at all.
Oh, like, imagine 7,000.
To me, it looks like he's trying to search for the answer in the stats while not looking at the actual product he created.
Sales in the first month.
But maybe he goes into this.
So based on all that, it underperformed, and it was quite difficult to accept. But the community that I've developed on my Discord and everything, and watching people battle for leaderboards has been fun. It's a joy. And it's motivating me to improve the game. I should mention the reviews at 1 week were 55, and right now it's at 60. So 5 reviews in the remaining days of the month, which isn't that much. But overall, it was really difficult to handle how it unfolded, and I expected more, and I was lowballing it, and I didn't even get to the lowball number. I still have a lot of wish lists I can convert on, which I will try. I'm going to continue to add heroes and update the game. I have a big update coming, and with that will come
maybe that will help.
So I'm going to do the 20% or over 20%, which will notify everyone that has wishlisted the game, and hopefully they can grab it and play it. Hopefully get some excitement from it. So those are the numbers from launching my first game and the roller coaster that came with it.
Hopefully he can, he's able to create contrast here. That is a huge contrast. You see that? Black on red. Works very well. The game is a visual problem. I think you should work on that. I think he should work on that, yeah.